A drawing without labels, letters, numbers, arrows, or symbols is hard to understand. This drawing is a prime example. Without context, you probably don't know what I've drawn here. This video is going to help you learn how to make your drawings understandable through our first step, visual literacy. Feel free to draw along with me. Visual literacy is the ability to understand the components of a sketch, such as spacing, using numbers, labels, and arrows, maintaining a minimalistic design, and avoiding long descriptions. Let's start by adding some labels. Labels are useful when you might forget later what your drawing is depicting. For example, these are both cells with the nucleus, and they are combined by these two gap junctions. Make sure that your labels are separate from your drawing so that you can still see the whole picture. Try not to write on top of any lines or within the drawing unless necessary, and keep your labels short. Now your drawing can be more easily understood, but you must also keep in mind minimalistic design. At the moment, your drawing doesn't look too crowded, but soon we'll be adding more details. Only keep labels that you will need. On this drawing, we don't need to label nucleus or gap junction twice. You may not even need to label cell because you will remember that in the future without the label. This is a great drawing so far. Let's start adding a process, cell communication with gap junctions. We know that a signal can travel from one cell through the junction to another cell to communicate. Here are our two signals, and to show their movement from one cell to the other, we can use an arrow. Arrows have many functions in a drawing. They can show movement from one place to another, just like we did, or they can be used to point to an object you want to label. They can also be used to show rotation, such as the daily rotation of the Earth, or to show progression between steps. Our current drawing could be broken into steps like this. Then, to show the progression, we would add arrows from one drawing to the next. Numbers can be used in this example as well. They are useful to show the order of events. Remember to maintain a minimalistic design though. If you want to show multiple steps, you don't need to show every little detail. For example, here you don't need to show every single place the signal was before reaching the other cell. We just need enough information to understand the concept. Now that we understand how to use arrows, let's move on to numbers and letters. Imagine that your signals aren't the same signal. How would you show that? Letters and numbers are perfect. We could make our signaling circles larger and put different letters inside, or different numbers. Or we can use the letters or numbers to represent the signals themselves. Or we could even use shapes. We have successfully drawn our process, so let's see how it looks. Your drawing may look cramped or confusing the first time, and that's okay. Our first drawing is going to be messy. That's why we address spacing the second time we draw. This drawing we just made will be our framework for the next one, and we can study much better from the clean second drawing. Don't try to get it perfect the first time. Now let's review. Always use short labels for your future self, but don't overdo it. Keep your sketch minimal so you can see the whole picture easily without distracting words. Arrows can help you show movement and progression and even label your drawing. Numbers and letters can show the order of events, label your drawings, or even represent objects themselves. Spacing is important for your second time drawing.